In May 1855, 9 years before the Travers trial, Sir William Rowan Hamilton, Ireland's Astronomer Royal, wrote to a friend about his busy social life in Dublin. A very odd and original lady had also lately a baby. Such things, you know, will happen, at least in Ireland, and on my being asked to hand her in to dinner, when I met her for the first time in my life, she told me of this young pagan, as she called him, and she asked me to be a godfather, perhaps because I was so to a grandson of Wordsworth the poet, and because she is an admirer of Wordsworth. However, I declined. The refusal did not, it seems, provoke any resentment. The odd and original lady paid Sir William a visit soon afterward, when he had an open day at his observatory. My visitress, he reported, told me, as we drank a glass of wine to the health of her child, that he had been christened on the previous day, by a long baptismal name, or string of names, the two first of which are Oscar and Fingal, the third and fourth, O'Flaherty and Wills, sounding to me as a tremendous descent, but I dare say she prefers them. Oscar Fingal O'Flaherty Wills Wilde, the young pagan under discussion, had been born on October 16th, 1854, at 21 Westland Row, Dublin, a neat Georgian terraced house close to the Westland Row railway station and backing onto the open space of Trinity College Park. And the long string of baptismal names had been bestowed upon him at a service conducted by his uncle in the neighbouring church of St. Mark. Oscar and Fingal were names touched with poetry and romance. They were, as his mother declared, grand, misty, and oceanic. In the Celtic epic ascribed to the ancient bard Ossian, but written in 1760 by James Macpherson, Oscar figured as the great but doomed hero of Irish legend, while Fingal was his no less heroic grandfather, leader of the mythic warrior troop the Fianna. The name O'Flaherty, also spelt on occasion O lowercase f f l a h e r t i e and O f l a h e r t i e, if not quite so poetic, was scarcely less imbued with legendary association. The O'Flahertys were the great family of the west of Ireland. They had been lords of Connemara and kings of Connaught, and the young Oscar Wilde could claim kinship with them through his paternal great-grandmother. Wills, too, was a family name of sorts, though one with Anglo rather than Irish resonances. It had been adopted by Oscar's father and his grandfather, and had also been given to Oscar's elder brother, William, at his birth 2 years previously. The Wills family had been influential landholders around Castlereagh since the beginning of the 18th century, and it seems to have been a desire for genteel association, rather than any ties of blood, that prompted the Wildes' serial adoption of the name. Taken together, the names made up an impressive list. Certainly it impressed Sir William Rowan Hamilton. They were names that carried both hopes and expectations. They proclaimed, too, the affiliations and the pretensions of the child's parents. Oscar Wilde's father and mother were figures of note on the Dublin scene. Although both were still in their 30s at the time of Oscar's birth, they were already marked out as real celebrities, Surgeon Wilde and his wife, Speranza. And if they were famed in Dublin, their reputations also carried beyond the pale. Their names were known across Ireland, in England, in continental Europe, and even in America. William Wilde was not only the leading oral and ophthalmic surgeon in Dublin and a leader in medical research, but also the author of popular books on travel and history, an acknowledged expert on Irish archaeology, topography, ethnology, and folklore, and a leading light of both the British Association for the Advancement of Science and the Royal Irish Academy, RIA. His wife, Jane, was a poet and a national heroine to a large portion of the Irish populace. She may have been odd and original, but she was also, as Sir William Rowan Hamilton noted, quite a genius, and thoroughly aware of it. She contributed erudite articles to Dublin's periodical press, read Greek for pleasure, and produced acclaimed translations from both French and German.